Now you might be wondering why I'm running 1,000 kilometers every month in Japan. That's 30 to 40k every day, no breaks. Well, here's the secret. On paper, yeah, I'm a pro runner. But really, this is just a cover up for my professional eating career. See, when you're running this much, you get to eat like a sumo wrestler without actually looking like one. And there's nothing I like more than food. So bring on a full day of Scran in Japan. So I've linked back up with my Japanese brethren from the Suzuki sponsored team for another altitude training camp. We're staying in a mountain monastery 1,200 meters up in a place called Fujimi, where marathon monks are made. Led by Japanese legend and former Olympian turned coach Arata Fujiwara, the team's training has been a shock to the system and makes Western marathoners look like a bunch of lazy bastards in comparison. So this begs the question, how can these guys handle such ferocious training? Could this be a case of train harder but scran smarter? Let's see what's on the menu today.
Morning, how are we doing? I've got my little electrolyte beverage here. I try and take one of these each morning, just dilute one of those electrolyte tablets with some water. Just because in Japan, you're sweating so much in summer, like even up here in the mountains, it's still humid. So I feel like I need to top up, I just get so dehydrated. And then I'm also just pairing that with a sweet coffee for that caffeine, whether it's an easy run, a session, whatever, I've got to get my morning coffee. And then in terms of pre-run food, I'm literally just hitting a banana. So keep it simple. I've not got a massive session this morning. If the session's under maybe 20k of running, I feel like you don't really need that much food. I had a big meal last night.
So while the running volume today might not have been monstrous, a mere 34k in total, the effort was off the charts. Little did I know when I woke up I was about to face the hardest session of my life that would test my thunder thighs to the limit and leave me begging to the mountain gods for mercy.
So we dropped down to the base of the mountain. We're now at, I think, 700 meters of altitude, and we're gonna be climbing all the way back up to 1,500 meters. So it's gonna be an absolutely brutal session. We did one of these, they call them long hills, and it's probably the hardest training session you can imagine. Like, I did a 40k long run earlier in the week. We've done cross-country intervals, track work. All of that pales in comparison to what we've got today. It's just a non-stop burning fire in your legs. Like, I can't describe the pain. There's absolutely no breaks in this. It's just non-stop, up. Absolutely brutal session, a quad buster, but I guess it's great for strengthening up the thunder thighs right there.
So as I prepare to go to war, let's chat about my pre-battle ritual.
So for the warm-up before a session, it's always the same for me. I'll do 5k of jogging, maybe the last k, pick up a little bit, do a bit of sort of steady running. Then I do a whole load of drills, kind of plyometric stuff, then some strides, and then by then, my body's just about good to go. The whole process takes nearly an hour. I've definitely noticed as I've got older, in the mornings, it takes me a while to get going. Like breaking a 5-minute K on that first K is absolutely impossible. Feels like a sprint, my body just won't move.
But eventually I was good to go and lined up with my fellow troops from the Suzuki team to tackle this behemoth climb. Averaging a 7% gradient over 12k and getting up to nearly 15% at the steepest parts, this will forever be known as the hill from hell. Now obviously on a course like this, pace goes out the window, but that's where the data from Chorus, who I've partnered up with again, can come in very handy and paints a proper picture of this bloodbath. On paper, this session should be my absolute worst nightmare. If you've ever seen the Tour de France, you'll know that hills purely come down to a weight to power ratio. Basically, the bigger guys never win. Now, I might not be a unit by Western standards, but at 66 kg, I'm carrying at least an extra 10 kg on my Japanese training partners, which means gravity isn't exactly on my side. So while the average pace is only 430 per K, my power output of 345 watts is the same as a flat out race and just shows how brutal this was. The Chorus app also shows you the effort pace to adjust for hills, which gives a better indication of how hard you're actually training on different terrains. But I was buzzing with this session because despite my weight handicap, I finished only behind the top 2 guys on the team and will have had a much higher power output than them. So the data from Chorus has definitely given me confidence that once I hit a flat race course and the playing fields are leveled, I should be cruising. And there's a link in the description if you want to get your hands on any of the Chorus goodies, like the Pace 3 that I'm rocking on all of my runs. But now let's check in with the aftermath.
That was by far the hardest session of my life, easily. I'd take a marathon around Yogi Park any day. Absolute joke. I'm still pretty lightheaded, like lost hearing completely, could barely see towards the end. Ears were popping, I guess because we just climbed so much, but geez, they are built different out here. We would never touch a session like that back home, but maybe that's the key for the marathon.
And even on the warm down, the trauma was still severe.
God, I feel like I've got PTSD. I still cannot believe how hard that was. Genuinely, there's no way of describing that. Unless you've done something like this, basically sprinted as high as you can for an hour up a mountain, there's nothing that even comes close. It's a whole different kind of pain.
Now, let's see how some of the other boys found it.
今日の練習どうでしたか?
It's very hard.
Very hard. 山登り。
Yeah.
この練習みたい。よく走りますか?
トレーニングキャンプメニュー。
ああ、なるほど。日本帰国した前、昼練習。いつもスプリント。like 30秒だけ。でも今日全然違いますね。ロングヒル。ロングヒル、やばい。日本人スタイル。今、体どうですか? 疲れた?
もう疲れました。
疲れました。皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
So it sounds like we're all in agreement that today was a killer. But let me properly introduce some of these weapons who I've been training with.
英語で自己紹介できますか? どうぞどうぞ。
My name is 上総貴沼。I'm rookie in the team.
Rookie, like youngest.
Yeah, youngest.
Youngest player. And what's your favorite distance, race distance?
I like full marathon.
Full marathon.
Yeah.
Because 大学の時、2時間13分マラソン走ったんですね。すごい。大学生。
So while a 10k race puts the fear of God into most Western student runners, over here they're just casually knocking out marathons while still at uni.
今年の目標は何ですか?
目標は、大阪マラソン、ブレイキング2 hours and 10 minutes.
お僕も、頑張りましょう。杉穂さん。
My name is コウタ杉穂。
And how old are you? 何歳ですか?
27.
27, okay. レースの距離、一番好きな
距離はマラソンです。
マラソン。自己ベストは?
2時間12分。
すごい。チームで皆さん早いですね。
皆さん早いですね。
Yeah, it's not bad to be ripping around with these guys each day. But since the topic today is food, I had to ask them what their favourite is.
Coffee is food.
Coffee.
I love coffee.
Sasaki-san is coffee master. Yes.
Drip coffee.
そう。コーヒー天才。一番うまいコーヒー作りますね。
ナンバーワンエチオピア。
ナンバーワン。藤村さん。
I like fruits. For example, シャインマスカット。
シャインマスカット。大きいグレープみたい。
Yes. グリーン。
でもおすすめですね。
おすすめです。
チ
ェリーも好きです。
完璧ですね。完璧。鈴木チーム皆さん、応援してください。
So after a big practice, it's time for a big brekkie. Gotta hit the refueling hard. Now this breakfast probably looks a little different to what you're used to. No cereal and toast in sight, but actually all the meals on camp could be interchangeable, and breakfast is just as healthy and filling as the others. There's always plenty of veg, fish, meat and carbs to hit all the key nutrition groups. The team chef, who we'll chat to later, is actually studying English at the moment, so each morning we get a sweet message with the menu for the day, which I can actually understand. Now the multiple bowls of rice that are a staple of every meal can be paired with a variety of combos. For brekkie, I mix mine with natto, a slimy fermented beans, and shirasu, which is a type of mini baby fish. It's a winning combo. Now let's catch up with my mate Kiriyama, who's a machine on the hills, so has been a perfect training partner for me to chase while we're up in the mountains.
山の神インタビューしましょう。今日の練習どうでしたか?
今日の練習はvery hard です。
Very hard. 平らパークは全然ない。いつもアップ。
ずっともう息が苦しくて、そうハード。
8キロから山みたいでこんな感じ。ペースは何分ぐらい?
5分10秒。そう。
5分10秒。
いや、めっちゃきつかったですね。
ランニングから、
はいはい。
クライミング。
いやいやいや、クレイジー練習。
But what are all these mental sessions leading towards?
月の目標は何ですか？
10月のレガシーハーフで、
レガシーハーフ。
そう、レガシーハーフ一緒です。
ああ、そうそう、一緒にいいです
レガシーハーフで
ね。自己ベスト目標ですか？レガシーで？
そう、自己ベスト。
ちょっと走りにくいコースだけど、62分自己ベストですね。
そう、62分。
すごい。
そう
楽しみです。
お互い頑張りましょう。
いやいや、頑張りましょうね。
And on the fueling topic, what did he have before today's brutal climb?
ゼリー。
ジェリーだけ？
そう、ゼリーだけ。
それは普通ですか？ポイント練習ならジェリーだけ？
ロングだと、
はいはい。
もう少し。
ロングランと
ロングランの
か。
時はもう少し食べるけど、
オッケー。
今日は一応短いから、
はいはい。
ゼリーを
大丈夫。
そう1本で OK。
そしてマラソンなら、マラソンのレース中、ジェリー何本？ない、ジェリーない。
ゼリーそうない。
飲み物だけ。
そう、多分みんな
はいはい。
はゼリーなくて、スペシャルドリンク。
スペシャルドリンク。
So just a few sips of sports drinks somehow do the trick. Now the fueling around sessions and races especially is completely different in Japan from abroad. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed. It was mad. So I was chatting to Fujiwara, the coach, and he ran a 2:07 marathon back in the day, like unreal, absolute legend over here. But he was saying that when he ran that, during all his marathons, he wasn't taking on a single gram of carbs during the whole race. So he's literally knocking out a 2:07 completely raw dog, maybe having a little bit of water, some amino acids or something, but zero sugar, zero carbs. But here it's definitely more in the old school mindset. So take that 40k long run we did a couple days ago. During it, I was popping like 3 gels at least, had my really strong Morton mix, like Morton 320. So I was smashing the carbs down and I still underdid it a fair bit, I reckon. I probably got 60 grams of carbs an hour. Compared to the Japanese guys, I was absolutely smashing it. I didn't see a single one of them take on gels, and maybe they had a couple sips of sports drink. But for a 2.5 hour run, like 40k distance, hard effort. And I reckon at the absolute most, they've taken in 10 grams of carbs an hour. Like it's nothing at all. And I was asking Fujiwara about this, and he said that it's all about the fat adaptation. It's like the old school thinking that you train without carbs to then be able to use fat as an energy store. So you get used to that in training, and then when it comes to racing, you're able to pull it out without needing as many carbs. And they're still kind of on that approach. So maybe it's changing a little bit, and you see people taking on some sports drinks and gels, but it's nothing like abroad. Like it's still so old school, the thinking here. And it's basically just, you get your big meals in and that's enough. You don't really need anything around it. Like when it comes to training, I see it as, everyone's massively under fuel, but they aren't really hitting the wall. And Fujiwara back in the day, he was closing his marathons in like sub 250 Ks. So clearly he had plenty of energy still to go. I don't know how, but he's an absolute machine. But now let's hear from Kawai-san, the team chef and nutritionist, who works with a bunch of elite teams and often travels with them on training camps to cook all their meals. Now, if you've ever seen my cooking skills back in Tokyo, you'll probably realize why I can't get enough of her cooking.
合宿でアスリート1日にどのくらいカロリー食べますか？
男子だったら3000キロカロリーちょっとくらい。
女子なら違いますか
？2500前後あたりになります。
男子と女子の料理違いますか？
全然量は違って、タンパク質と選手たちが予想ご飯の量が違うかなと思うんですけど、タンパク質は男子だと 1.5 倍くらい女子よりも食べるかもしれないです。いや、
タンパク大事ですね。もし、たくさん走ってます。
女子は体重制限をしている人もいるので、多くなりすぎないように調整することが多いんですけど、男子はいっぱい走ってて、体重増えにくいので、いっぱい食べてもらうことが多い。
一番好きな食べ物は何ですか？
私ですか？私は、なんだろうな、ハンバーグです。
ハンバーグ？
はい。
海外の料理。アメリカ
そっか、そうです。
But on camp, there's no American food in sight, and everything is aimed at filling up the tank with clean fuel, which is similar to my cooking back home, to be fair. Except the big difference is that I seem to sacrifice taste in the process, whereas all the meals here are absolutely banging. And it looks like we've got a cheeky curry for lunch.
これは辛いスパイスです。
スパイシー。辛い苦手ですけど、日本の辛いあんまり辛くないと思います。
これくらいならきっと。
でも味美味しい。
And with Japanese food, it's never just one plate. There's always some side dishes that come with it.
今日はカレーなのでスープにします。
あ、スープ。
モロヘイヤを入れて、
もし外国人見る人なら和食おすすめなんですか？
やっぱり豆腐ですね。
あ、豆腐。
うん。
はい、人気ですね、日本で。
なぜなら、タンパク質って
はい。
お肉で取りがち。まあ、お肉で取ると腸内環境が荒れやすい。日本人はなんか豆腐とかを食べることが、タンパク質源として豆腐を食べる。
わあ、本当に毎日美味しい料理してくれてありがとうございます。
嬉しいです。
ありがとうございました。はい。
So I've just scran down a banging curry for lunch. The lunch always tends to be a little bit smaller because it's like breakfast is after that big morning training. So you've got to fuel back up, go big there. And then with lunch, we're training again. So we've got that little afternoon jog later. So we're not going too big or just I won't be able to move because I've done that before. I just hammer the bowls of rice and then I'm just completely comatose for like 3-4 hours. So I try and keep it a little bit lighter. Still a solid portion there and then we'll go big again for dinner. So all of the food here is kind of tailored around the training to like fit best for what you've got coming up. If it's like a harder day, a bigger day, then the meals will be different. And today's a bit of a light one. I've only got a pathetic 34k, I think it is. So it will just be a bit of chill time now, maybe get in the recovery boots, do a bit of work, standard stuff, and then we'll get out later. I feel nice and fueled up at the moment, so I probably won't hit any snacks. And that's the biggest difference I've noticed, that people don't really snack at all here because the meals are like so unprocessed, clean, and they're always pretty big that then you don't really need any snacks in between. Like they almost keep you going till the next run or the next meal. Whereas in Tokyo, I'd be getting in the sweet treats, like just to try and hit my calorie needs to get that 4,000 to 5,000 calories. And actually here, weirdly enough, yeah, I don't have any problems with that. So I don't count calories or anything, but someone I'm sure can work out in the comments how much I've eaten today. And you've got to account for a couple bowls of rice. I don't know if I filmed everything, but this kind of gives a general idea of the kind of scram we're getting in. So most of the day is spent eating and running, but in between that, I'm hitting the work, recovery, multitasking. But this brief rest didn't last long as cabin fever was kicking in. So I've just headed out for a little stroll. I'm going to explore. I've seen there's a bit of a footpath here so we can see what's popping. I find I can't just sit in all day. That's actually the thing I like the least about training camp because we're always in these mad remote places, like there's nothing around. Within walking distance, there's no shops, no cafes, nothing. So I find I just get so bored. Like, I don't know how the boys in the team do it. Like I always ask them like, oh, what have you been up to like in between meals and stuff and training? And it basically sounds like they just sleep, go on their phones, chill, pretty much do nothing at all, which would just drive me mad. Like even I'm working a fair bit during camp, doing, I don't know, 3-4 hours of YouTube related stuff each day. I still find it's not quite enough. Like there's a bit too much downtime. I'm used to just action-packed days and I always break stuff up. Like I'll hit a little cafe or go to a bakery or something, like get out my bike. I don't know, I need something going on or I just start losing my mind. I can't sit in all day. So my legs are restless, but at least my belly is currently satisfied. And I'm still feeling nice and full actually from lunch, which is weird because I swear when I'm back in Tokyo, I'm snacking all the time. There's no way I'd make it all the way from lunch through to my second run of the day. Like I need to be eating every couple hours, but I don't know what it is about the food here. Maybe it's just all the rice I'm eating, like a few bowls with every meal. I'm always just topping up. So that Japanese diet does seem to be perfect for the big mileage. Speaking of which, it's that time again.
Oh, right, here we go. Round 2. It's always a bit of a struggle getting out post-session. But once I'm going, I'm sure the body will loosen up. So for the second run of the day, it's usually always free, so you can just do your own thing, do whatever distance, pace, like on your own. There's no official group training. I quite like that because you see some teams in Japan, especially the younger ones, like middle school, high school teams, even when they're doing an easy run, it has to be in a group with the coach taking splits and everything, usually on a tiny loop, like maybe around the track. So you've got no chatting during that, no music, nothing, just mental torture. And right now with how slowly I'm moving, I'm glad there's no splits being taken. Right now I'm unable to break 6-minute Ks, which is a good sign. It means I've worked bloody hard this morning. And with the Japanese training, because they're hitting such high volume, there's no egos when it comes to easy running. It's just super easy controlled.
But when you're up here in the mountains, good luck finding a place for easy running.
So it's near impossible to get flat running around here. And after this morning, 800 meters of climbing, I think I've ticked the elevation gain box for today. But there's this tiny little lake here, which has a beautiful trail around the outside. It's a shame it's only 500 meters, but for nice flat loops, soft surface, this should do the trick. Probably get half my run done here, gonna run up the hill towards the track and get a bit more.
Laps on laps, baby, you know the drill. All right, run complete. That's training ticked off for the day, but I'm just noshing down a little banana now. I always try and get something in within the first 10 minutes or so of finishing. And then we'll be getting a huge dinner in about half an hour or so, refuel up because I'm feeling a little low on energy now. So dinner was an assortment of vegetables, some pork and avocado, fish with cheese, miso soup, natto, and of course rice topped with a bit of extra pork for those protein gains. And just when you thought I was done, there was a dessert on the cards. So I finished the day off with a proper treat, a bowl of rice with a little drizzle of honey on top. I really am going wild on this training camp, but that wraps up a full day of Scran on camp with an elite marathon team. What do you reckon then? Was that kind of what you'd expected? Was it less food, more food? I reckon looking in, it probably didn't look like that much, but the meals were big, and I probably burnt over 4,000 calories today, and I'm not losing weight at the moment, so clearly I'm getting enough Scran in. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Jake with Ran to Japan. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, train harder, not smarter.